going.
Okay. Hi, guys. I haven't done an IGTV in so long, but hello, my name is Emily. I'm doing a takeover today. My name's Emily. I have spastic diplegia cerebral palsy, and I'm 23 years old. And I'm joined by my friend Anna, who runs the Instagram account called CP Life. What's your handle?
_PP_life.
Okay. So be sure to follow her. And today I just really wanted to have an open and honest conversation about disability representation and how important it is. So let's start off with a little bit of my story, and then Anna, feel free to interject when you feel necessary. Well, like I said, I'm 23, about to be 24 in a few days. And so I grew up in like the late 90s, early 2000s, and I really didn't see any sort of disability representation anywhere until I was in my teens, actually, and until I joined Instagram and until I started following accounts like Ellie's, the one I'm taking over today, and other sort of younger children that had CP, but I never saw someone who was my own age besides me. That is like until I met Anna and a few other people that I know, but I never knew anyone who was my age. Now that's not to say that there's not been representation in like American Girl dolls. I know that when I played with American Girl dolls, I had a wheelchair for them, but that was, you did too? Yeah,
I did too.
But that was about the extent of the representation. I didn't even see anyone who looked like me in a clothing campaign until I followed some disabled influencers here on Instagram, and I knew that was a thing. I was like, I didn't even know we could get into campaigns like this until it was social media that brought it to my attention.
Yeah, I kind of had a similar story to Emily. I went off to elementary school not being a senior person, and for those of you who don't know me, which might be many of you, I am in a walker, and for my entire elementary school career, I did not see anybody in a walker. I knew other disabilities, but nothing like a walker. In fact, because of that, I was the first person that advocated to have an elevator put in my elementary school. Believe it or not.
Can you just say what your CP diagnosis is if you feel comfortable?
Yeah, so I had the computer cerebral palsy, which means all women are affected, primarily my right side though. And so I was the only one in a walker in elementary school, but once I got to middle school, there was only one person in a walker. One, that's it. And and then when I went to high school, there was no one in a walker. And so I really started to be invested in the disabled community when I was 19 and with Matt February. And I was starting my brand, and I met this woman by the name of Misty Diaz, who had kind of been better, and one adaptive woman with me. So that's when I started to get to know people with other disabilities like mine.
And unfortunately, I think that Anna and I were robbed of something, and that is like just the technology piece. Because I know that when I was growing up, my mom knew other special needs families, and my mom knew other disabled people's families, but we only met them in the therapy waiting rooms, and then we really had no way of contacting them other than just that weekly therapy visit. There was no FaceTime support group. There was no like Zoom call to get together. There was no, there was no there was a friendship, but there was no like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like there was
I definitely, can I add something? Oh, I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You all. I definitely agree with you because my mom saw a variety of people with disabilities in waiting room, but none of them really had the mental capacity or the means to communicate back to us. Like, hey, do you want to hang out? And even the mayor who I talked about, who went to my middle school, her mom wasn't very open to her hanging out other disabled people for some reason. So I wasn't able to communicate with her either. So
Which that's also completely understandable too. Like not everyone has to put themselves out, It's not what I like to say is, because I identify myself as being like a self advocate. Like I admit I'm not very good a lot of the time, but like I do the best I can to show up and to show like what everyday awareness is like for CP. But it's not always my job to advocate and put myself out there and say, hey, I have CP, you know what I mean? And unfortunately it's not normalized yet to where it's just, oh, you have CP, nice to meet you, like what do you like to do, you know what I mean? There's still a lot of like questions and stares, and
and then
I'm all
hi, go ahead, I'll let you finish.
no, it's okay. I'm all for answering questions, but there comes a time where like I'm tired. So like I understand where some people may not want to put themselves out there. I just wanted to touch on that point too, because like not everyone has to put themselves out there.
My Emily said that amount of testing and all that, but there's also a amount of dishonest people when you're trying to make attention. I mean, some people may take pity on you because
Absolutely.
you're disabled, and by doing that, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll test her one time and never test her ever again."
Right.
Or bail on at the last minute.
And honestly, I was talking about this earlier today on Ellie's stories, but I opened a question box and people were asking me, they're like, oh well, I'm a caregiver for my best friend with CP, like what can I do? And honestly, I've found some of the best friendships to be caregiver and client friendships, or caregiver and friend friendships too. Like, whereas the disabled, or, I found some of those friendships to be the most genuine friendships I've ever had.
Yeah, I agree, because whenever I'm 20, I don't know if I mentioned that, but I basically everyone I met is my own age or 2 years older than me, and I told them, hey, I have a party, you're gonna have to, or if you want to hang out with me, there are gonna be times where you're gonna have to help with the nasty, disgusting, unpleasant kind of things, and so they have become hell number one, and then caregiver number two, and I think being honest about that with your family really does help build an incredible bond.
Right. Honesty is the best policy.
Right.
And the last thing, because I want to keep this short and sweet for you guys today, because I've thrown a lot of information at you. And the last thing that I want to say is, honestly, my dream for disability representation is for whether it's, I would love to see it in TV, because I watch, Netflix shows all the time. I just finished watching Heartland, and they had a bunch of disability representation on there. I'm watching Gilmore Girls for the 100th time currently. Whether it's TV, whether it's movies, whether it's print ads, whether it's magazine posters, but I don't know, do people buy magazines anymore? Whatever it is.
If they read them online.
Yeah, maybe. But whatever it is, I want to see somebody that's like me, because because that would have helped my heart so much. And like that would have helped when I was younger. That would have helped when I was Ellie's age. That would have helped when I was younger, to see people like me and say, hey, that girl can wear a princess dress too, and she may have different looking slippers because she has to wear AFOs, or she has to wear something, or she uses an assistive device to talk. I don't use one, but I'm talking representation for everyone, because I know what it's like to feel like in a box, and to be closed off like that.
Me too.
It is the most isolating feeling I would ever tell you, and I would not wish it on my worst enemy. So yes, my main focus is advocating for CP, but in reality, I have conversations with people with all types of disabilities. And I'm just looking to make the world, better than the way it treated me in school, in life, just everywhere.
Same here. I do same thing on my YouTube channel, EP Life. So.
Yeah. So thank you, Anna, for doing this with me. And I would love to have a conversation with you all down in the comments, because I think that's also what's really awesome is community, and sharing stories and not feeling so alone. So sound off in the comments down below, and we will talk to you later.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay. I'm pausing this.